Okay, I'm sorry. I've got to have the fan on. I'm sorry if it's too loud. I'll try to speak up. But today, hello, welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel. My name's Michelle, and I don't know my intro anymore, but hello, we're going to be doing a book review. So today I'm going to be discussing Finding Ashley by Danielle Steel. This is my latest book that I finished. Fair warning, I am going to talk about the book. I don't give star ratings on the books that I read. I don't do it just because I never know if I'm going to possibly write in the same genre, and I don't want my critique to, like, if I were to, like, hate the book to affect how other people view me. I don't know. There's just a lot. I don't really do reviews, except what I do here on this channel. And so far I haven't had a bad, like, I don't like this book kind of thing. And if I did, I probably wouldn't discuss it. I don't know. I haven't come to that point, so I'm not sure. But anyways, this book was absolutely delightful. Well, delightful might be the wrong word, but it was a nice break for me. So typically I read a lot of, like, light, fluffy stories. As a lot of my alters in my headspace say, I read girly books, typically always having to deal with romance or, like, high school problems, so really, like, low-stakes stuff. But I would say Finding Ashley is not a low-stakes book, because, like, well, it's not low-stakes, it's just there's some heavy subjects being brought up in this book, and, like, the whole, like, vibe of the book is so different from, like, young adult. It is an adult book. It's just so different from, like, the young adult books or the middle grade that I read. I was like, okay, I need to read, like, I just was like, okay, I'll read it. I got this book from my grandma. She suggested for me to read it. I don't remember when, but it was before June 23rd, because that's when I started reading it. But it was, like, she told me a little bit about it. She said she thought of me whenever she was reading it. She told me a little bit about what was going on and stuff, and I was just like, okay, kind of knew what was going on. Also, I am somebody who's terrible at saying no to people, and so it's like, she told me all about this, and I was like, I'm not going to say no to you, so I'm going to read it, or at least bring it home and maybe go give it to the mission afterwards. But I was like, then Grandma would then ask me about the book, and I can't just be like, oh, no, I didn't read it kind of thing. I gave it away, I would feel bad. But I ended up really enjoying it. I haven't talked to my grandma and had, like, a book discussion about it, but I really, really enjoyed it. It was such a lovely book. And honestly, I want her to pick out more of these kind of books for me to read. Like, these more, I don't want to say serious tones. Well, yeah, serious tones, but I just like to get this, like, glimpse into what grandma reads, because, like, you can learn a lot about somebody based on what they read and stuff. I know previously in the past, like, whenever me and my grandma talk about books, she talks a lot about the books that are more, like, Western romances. I'm not going to say what she says, like, how she describes them, because she is slightly racist. But, the cowboy and gets the girl kind of thing. But it, like, those are the kind of books she usually reads. So whenever she was talking about this book, I was expecting, like, a Western romance. But instead she got this book, and I really, really enjoyed it. I love Danielle Steel's writing. Again, the story was just so impactful. I have a little stats for it. So what I mean stats is, like, the day that I started reading it to the day I finished, and how many reading sections or days it took me to read exactly. So I started this book on June 23rd, and I finished it July 3rd. And I did 6 different days worth of reading on it. But I will say that the this date, like, the 6th time and the 5th time, I was on the same day. So today I read, I can't even remember, I want to say from chapter 11 or 13 to the end. And I think there's 17 chapters, so I read about I think I was on chapter 11, so I read a good portion of it today. But I was like sitting, I decided to take the day off, because I had gotten done working on my JJ project, so I was like, I'll just read today and just take the day off. So I was like, I'll read today. And when I was reading, I was like, oh, I like this. And then I came upstairs and I was like, I still want to keep reading it and stuff. And yeah, that's kind of how I finished it. And I really honestly can't speak enough great things about this book. And also, like, kind of the fact that, like, two of the characters are sisters. And, like, the relationship that those two sisters had. And also the relationship that the main character had with her mother. And everything that had to, like, it all had to deal with family. And it was so beautiful. And, like, kind of how everything evolved into one was so beautiful. I can't describe it any other way. And it makes me want to read more, like, of these more adulty books. I'm getting really bad at wanting to buy so many new books off of Amazon. But I'm like, I need to continue going to my local mission or missions around me and pick up books there, because they are really good books out there. And, you know, once I get done with this, well, I'm done with this book, so once I get done with this video, I will give it to my grandma, see if she wants to redonate it back to the mission, or I can bring it to my mission, whichever one she wants to do. But yeah, it was a really, really good read. I really enjoyed it. I took some, like, journal, like, what I did, so I have, like, reflections / reading, like, I have, like, a notebook. I have Google Docs that have each book that I read, day I finished it, started it, and then, like, date, like, what chapters I read on this day, and my thoughts about it. And all the time I was like, I kept getting so, like, I was like, oh, this could happen. No, that didn't happen and stuff. And it was just, I loved it. I can't describe it enough. I just love the story. And it was really, really impactful. And I do suggest you guys go pick it up. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. It was just a lovely book. And so my next book that I'm going to be reading, because I sometimes on this, like, when I do my book reviews, talk about the next book I'm planning on reading, which the next book is going to be A Mirror of Shadows by Sarah Cannon. This is a recent release. I'm pretty sure it released this year, I think. Excuse me, let me double check. Yeah, released this year, which I usually never buy, like, recent releases, but Sarah decided to read this book aloud on her YouTube channel, Sarah Cannon, and I was like, oh, I'm subscribed to her, so I was listening to it. I got to, like, the 6th episode, or the 6th, yeah, it was called the 6th episode. And I was like, I want to stop listening to this and I want to pick it up and read it myself. And Sarah said that she's done a lot of edits to it. Yeah. She's also getting to the point where she's possibly going to be starting to read the second book in this series. And for me, I'm kind of somebody who doesn't read books in series. Like, I usually read book 1, might not continue on to the rest of the books. But we'll see. But yeah, so reading this one, it is a dark fantasy book. It's got some romance in it, and I'm pretty sure it's now labeled as an adult, or it might be an upper young adult, or a not middle grade, new adult. I don't really know what she labeled it as, but I'm really excited to get to reading this. I also have recently purchased a couple books. One is a middle grade, one is a nonfiction, and the other one is a Christian romance book, which I will, when I get those in, I'll talk about it in whatever video I'm talking about it in. But yeah, so that was kind of my somewhat review of Finding Ashley. Highly suggest go picking this up and reading. If you're able to read stuff that's kind of more serious and has to deal with trauma. And then my next read for my young adultish books is A Mirror of Shadows. So if those books sound exciting to you, go ahead and pick them up. Tell me what you think of them, and maybe we'll have a discussion about it. But we will definitely have a book review when I finish A Mirror of Shadows. But that's kind of all I that's all I gotta say for today. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and remember to keep making fantasies come true, one story at a time, okay? And I'll see you guys later. Bye!